think? What you think? Is you think it's an issue with the milk or?
Maybe because they just switched the caramel to the
Got
your robo.
I imagine scrolling late at night and stumbling across a headline so wild it doesn't even sound real. T.I. allegedly suing his own son, King Harris, for full custody of his grandson. A father dragging his own child into court, saying he's a danger to himself. Now that's not just family drama, that's a full-blown reality show unfolding in real time. Fans are stunned. The internet is buzzing, and the Harris household is reportedly caught in the middle of a storm nobody saw coming. The whispers began with leaked documents, then spiraled into heated debates online. And now everyone's asking the same question.
Talk to me. Until then, ain't nothing going. Call who you need to call, do what you need to do.
What could push one of hip-hop's most respected fathers to take such a drastic step? Is this tough love gone too far, or a desperate attempt to save the next generation from repeating the same mistakes? One thing is certain. Emotions are running high, accusations are flying, and the bond between father and son is being tested in the harshest spotlight imaginable. Stick around, because what's allegedly happening behind those mansion doors might just be the most shocking chapter yet in the saga of the Harris family. The air around the Harris household has been thick with tension for weeks. But when whispers started spreading that Ty had allegedly filed for custody of his grandson, everything shifted into overdrive. What was once brushed off as internet gossip suddenly felt like a bombshell, and fans couldn't believe what they were hearing. A father suing his own son is dramatic enough, but to add in accusations of recklessness, instability, and being a danger to his own child?
Damn. Snap back, get right.
Bro, what do you be looking at? What you be looking at? Hey. You bottled over, Cap.
It's the kind of storyline you'd expect in a primetime drama series, not real life. Yet according to reports, that's exactly the position Ty is said to be taking. And while no official confirmation has come directly from the family, the details swirling online have been enough to send social media into meltdown. People are split between those who see it as a tough love move meant to save a baby's future, and those who think it's an unforgivable betrayal. The seeds of this alleged custody fight were planted long ago, in plain sight. Fans have watched King.
A lot of people hit me up like, King, I know you tired, you ain't getting no sleep, and the truth be told, before this little I ain't been getting no sleep, you know what I'm saying? I just been outside working, lifestyle, lifestyle just life, you know what I'm saying? And, but now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. This up every morning, and then around the morning time, he like to do that little live concert I be doing with him.
King Harris grow up online, often clashing with his father, often brushing off advice, and just as often landing himself in controversies that made headlines. Whether it was viral live streams full of rants, public confrontations at restaurants, or the unforgettable stadium argument that went from words to shoves in front of thousands, King seemed to be spiraling while the world watched. Every time, Ty would step in with the voice of experience, warning him to slow down, to recognize where reckless energy leads. But for many, those warnings felt like talking to a wall. King had already crafted his own image, the misunderstood kid who wanted to prove he wasn't just living under the shadow of his father's success. When King became a father himself, there was a brief moment where the narrative seemed to shift. People expected him to run from responsibility, to distance himself from fatherhood. But instead, he leaned into it. Photos and videos of him holding his...
What do you want to do? You want to take my dad off my head?
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well?
Get some guns in here.
All right, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You got to take it.
There's no safety.
Take
Okay.
it.
Well, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. You just set this down right here. Dude, step out for me. Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. All right, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest. We're gonna be at the church. Right, I appreciate you being cool, man. We're just gonna take a look at this information, make sure it's valid.
I ain't feeling this.
Just take a step to the side for me. Hey, boss, you don't have any firearms on you?
I do, but it's concealed.
Okay, just leave it where it's at. You cool, man. Just
For sure.
stand by.
His son flooded his social media. Captions hinted at purpose. Lyrics he teased spoke of legacy, and fans cautiously celebrated the possibility that this might be the turning point. Ty, too, seemed to soften, speaking with pride about becoming a grandfather, even joking in interviews that the child might torture King the way King once tortured him. For a fleeting moment, it felt like peace had been found. But peace in the Harris family doesn't last long. Old habits resurfaced. There were late-night live streams where King looked exhausted, talking about being up all night, chasing a lifestyle that didn't match the responsibility.
More than freedom this time.
Hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmama, he's going to prison. If you got to keep this up, they're going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had the conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out.
Possibilities of fatherhood. There were photos with friends, risky antics, and the infamous arrest that, according to reports, left Ty furious. King was allegedly pulled over after driving erratically, nearly colliding with a police car only to be found with weed and a firearm. For Ty, it wasn't just a run-in with the law. It was a confirmation of everything he had feared. His son was heading down the exact same destructive path he had once walked. Except this time, a baby was caught in the middle. 47R 312 sources close to the family claimed that after the arrest...
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file shows. What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here.
arrest, T.I. sat down with King for a serious talk. Not the usual scolding, not the public disappointment, but a heart-to-heart where he told him flat out, "This ends one of two ways, jail or worse." He even went further, warning King's mother and grandmother to prepare themselves, because if King kept living the way he was living, there'd be nothing anyone could do to...
Better. He know not true. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, I used to have to come to my grandma's house, because I'm getting in the
You
fight.
cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every
It's
day.
no chance.
I know you. You I know you. I know you. I know you.
Shut up, shut up.
I know you.
Ain't no
though.
mystery about
I
it.
know you though. I know you though.
Shut up.
I know you though. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me.
to stop the consequences. Those words weren't meant to go public, but like everything else in this family, they leaked, spreading across fan pages and forums. To the outside world, it sounded like a prophecy T was now watching come true. That's why, when rumors broke that Ty himself had put pen to paper and appealed directly to a judge to declare King unfit,
They say, hey, who do you belong to? Who raised their hand? Somebody got to raise their hand. I've been seeing him around through their life. You gonna raise your own hand? I've been seeing him around through well, when you got when y'all got drunk around those legal guns, that's called it's not possession of a firearm and commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony. Thank you.
fans weren't entirely shocked. Disappointed, yes. Saddened, of course. But surprised? Not really. The tension had been simmering too long, and something was bound to snap. What caught everyone off guard was the boldness of the alleged move. This wasn't some lawyer quietly filing paperwork on his behalf. The claim is that a personally wrote a letter outlining his concerns, telling the court his son's behavior wasn't just reckless but dangerous. Words like,
Became a father, so I got 2 grandchildren now.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I got 2 granddaughters. I got a grandson on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment.
like unstable and unfit were thrown around, and while no one has seen the full letter, the fragments making the rounds online paint a picture of a father who feels like he has no other choice. The alleged filing didn't stay in the shadows for long. Once gossip sites picked it up, the narrative spread like wildfire. King, who had been unusually quiet in recent weeks, reportedly snapped when he found out. Insiders describe a scene that could rival a movie. King storming into his parents' house.
Hey, cutie. Hey,
How you doing? You having a
Got
good
your
day?
robo? Yeah, he did. Well,
It dropped.
yeah.
So what you think is the issue with the milk?
Maybe because they just switched the caramel to the less ingredient.
House, grabbing his son and leaving in a fit of rage. Later, he's said to have called Ty, unleashing a torrent of pain and anger. Betrayal was the word that kept coming up. How could the man who taught him about loyalty, who raised him under the motto of family first, turn around and call him unfit? How could his own father drag him through the courts instead of lifting him up privately? Interview 4.10519 on social media, fans speculated wildly. Some claimed King had gone live, hinting at feeling like everyone was against him. Others swore they saw him out in public, looking more drained than ever, carrying his son and mumbling to himself. Whether those sightings were real or exaggerated, the energy around him was undeniable. King wasn't just mad, he was heartbroken. It wasn't a rap beef, it wasn't internet trolls. It was his own father putting him on the chopping block. And yet, while King wrestled with betrayal, Ty's camp framed it differently. They argued this wasn't about punishing King, it was about saving Junior. To them, this was generational protection, breaking a cycle before it swallowed another innocent life. Ty had walked the path, done prison time, made mistakes, and clawed his way out. He refused to sit back and watch his grandson grow up in chaos. Friends close to him reportedly said, Ty sees Junior as a second chance, a way to finally do fatherhood right without the distractions of fame and violence. In his eyes, King's immaturity was too dangerous to ignore. Interview 558-638. The debate only grew louder when clips resurfaced of T.I. speaking about his son's antics in years past. Moments where he admitted knowing exactly how King's story would end if he didn't change. Moments where he almost sounded resigned, as if watching a train wreck in slow motion. And fans connected the dots. Maybe this alleged custody battle wasn't sudden at all. Maybe it had been building for years. Every outburst, every arrest, every headline adding another piece to the puzzle until Ty finally broke. As the internet dissected every angle, one thing became clear. The Harris family had gone from America's hip-hop royalty to the stars of an unintentional soap opera. Each new leak, each alleged detail, was treated like the next episode, and fans couldn't look away, whether they were rooting for T.I.'s tough love or defending King's right to figure it out. Everyone agreed on one point. The family bond was fractured, maybe beyond repair. And through it all, little King Jr. remained the silent centerpiece, too young to understand, too innocent to choose sides, but at the heart of a battle that might define the rest of his life. For now, the world is left piecing together whispers, leaked documents, and emotional outbursts, trying to make sense of a story that feels bigger than just one family. Because beneath the headlines, this isn't just about fame or custody. It's about legacy, pride, and a family struggling to survive its own chaos. The fallout from the alleged custody filing didn't just shake the Harris household. It sent shockwaves across the entire hip-hop community. Fans and fellow celebrities alike started chiming in, some siding with Ty, calling it the act of a father who refuses to sit back and watch another generation crumble, while others accused him of going too far, of humiliating his own blood in front of the world. The comment sections on blogs and gossip pages turned into full-blown debates. One side wrote, "This is tough love. He's trying to save the baby," while another argued, "How could any father drag his son through court? That's betrayal at the highest level." Interview 7-13-7-52-52. The divide wasn't just online. It was allegedly tearing the family apart from within. Sources close to the Harrises claimed Tiny was caught in the middle, torn between supporting her husband's protective instincts and wanting to shield her son from what felt like a public crucifixion. People who know her described late-night phone calls, tears, and pleas for the two men to find common ground before things reached the point of no return. Meanwhile, other relatives reportedly whispered their fears that once lawyers got involved, reconciliation would be almost impossible. Family drama had turned into legal warfare, and the scars might never heal. What made the situation even more explosive were the supposed confrontations that followed. Insiders describe a heated exchange between King and T.I., one that wasn't calm or calculated but raw, emotional, and loud. According to these accounts, King shouted, "You ain't no judge, you my father. How you gonna call me unfit, when you know I love my son more than anything?" Ty allegedly shot back with words that cut deep. "Love ain't enough if you can't protect him. I've lived that life. I know how it ends, and I won't watch it swallow my grandson." Whether or not those exact lines were spoken, the picture painted was clear. A father and son locked in a battle not just for custody, but for the right to define what love and responsibility mean. Fans couldn't stop replaying the past moments that now seemed like foreshadowing. The stadium fight between Ty and King went viral all over again. Clips reshared with captions like, "This is where it started." Others pointed back to the Waffle House meltdown, using it as evidence of King's volatility. Still, some defended him, saying every young man makes mistakes, and that fatherhood is a process of growth, not perfection. "He just needs guidance, not court papers," one fan wrote, echoing the sentiment of thousands who saw the legal move as a line crossed. Adding fuel to the fire, rumors swirled that King had taken to social media in subtle ways, posting cryptic stories and vague messages that fans interpreted as shots at his father. Phrases like, "Loyalty ain't real no more," and "I'ma stand on mine regardless," allegedly appeared on his accounts, sparking threads of speculation. Was he preparing to fight back legally? Was he trying to rally public sympathy? Or was it just the venting of a young man who felt cornered by the people who were supposed to protect him? Nobody could say for sure, but the mystery only kept the drama alive. Interview 8-15-8-53, when fans started questioning whether this was about custody alone, or if deeper issues were at play. Some suggested Ty's move was less about Junior's immediate safety and more about protecting the family's brand. "You gotta remember, this ain't just a family, it's a business," one commentator argued. Every headline about King's arrests or outbursts drags the Harris name through the mud. Ty built an empire, and maybe he's trying to save it. Others rejected that theory, insisting this was about blood, not money. But the whispers wouldn't die down, and every new angle added layers to an already tangled web. Throughout it all, the image of Ty as a grandfather began to stand out in stark contrast to King's struggles. In podcasts and appearances, clips resurfaced where Ty gushed about his grandson, holding him close. Smiling in a way fans hadn't seen in years, that tenderness only deepened the divide, making it seem like Ty had already shifted his role from father to protector of the next generation, leaving King stuck in the uncomfortable role of the problem child. Critics argued this comparison was unfair, but in the court of public opinion, it painted a damning picture. Interview 9-14-9-40As. The story unfolded, even other celebrities began weighing in. Boozy, who had once scolded both King and his own son on camera for flashing guns in a video, reportedly commented privately that this was Beyond Music, and Family at War. Industry insiders whispered that this situation was becoming one of the most talked about dramas in hip-hop circles, overshadowing album drops and beefs. For once, the spotlight wasn't on music or money. It was on custody battles, betrayal, and the thin line between tough love and abandonment. And yet, beneath the noise, fans kept circling back to the one innocent figure at the heart of it all. Little King Jr., too young to understand, yet caught in a whirlwind of accusations, anger, and legal disputes. Some fans posted messages like, "Protect the baby at all costs," while others expressed heartbreak over the idea of him growing up watching his father and grandfather feud so publicly. It turned the entire ordeal from celebrity gossip into something more human, more relatable. Because at its core, this wasn't just about fame, it was about a child's future. By now, the lines were drawn. Ty stood firm, allegedly insisting he was doing what was necessary to save his grandson, even if it meant breaking his son's heart. King, meanwhile, reportedly vowed not to let anyone take his child from him, no matter the cost. Fans, family, and fellow artists were left watching, waiting for the next leak, the next confrontation, the next twist in a story that was spiraling faster than anyone could predict. And if the past was any clue, the most shocking moments were still to come. Interview 10/11/1038. The alleged custody war between T.I. and King Harris only grew messier as the days passed, each sunrise bringing with it new rumors, new leaks, and new moments that kept the internet locked in. Insiders claimed the family's mansion no longer felt like a home, but like a battlefield, with one side supporting Ty's decision as the only way to protect his grandson, and the other side whispering that King was being unfairly vilified. Whispers of shouting matches behind closed doors, slammed doors, and icy silences painted a picture of a family in collapse. Interview 11/07/1135 when a supposed audio clip began circulating online. In it, a man's voice, said to be Ty's, could be heard saying, "If I don't step in now, we're gonna lose him and that baby too." Whether the clip was authentic or edited was never clear, but it hit the internet like a lightning strike. Fans dissected every word, every pause, debating whether it proved his intentions were pure or whether it showed a father overstepping boundaries. One commenter wrote, "This man has lived the consequences. He knows what's coming," while another fired back, "He's treating his own son like a criminal before the courts even have." King, meanwhile, allegedly spiraled further under the pressure. According to people close to him, he began avoiding calls, ducking appearances, and isolating himself with only a tight circle of friends. Some even claimed he was carrying Junior with him constantly, refusing to let the baby out of his sight for fear that Ty would swoop in and take him. One dramatic account described King pacing a dimly lit room, clutching his son while venting, "Everybody against me, even my own daddy. I ain't losing him. I'd rather crash out first." Whether those exact words were spoken or not, the image was powerful enough to catch fire across fan pages. Tiny, once again, found herself pulled in both directions. Sources suggested she quietly tried to broker peace, urging Ty to reconsider legal action and begging King to calm down and show maturity. But both men were reportedly too deep in their pride to bend. Ty was said to be resolute, insisting this wasn't about pride but survival. King, on the other hand, felt every move was an attack on his identity, his manhood, and his right to be a father. Their stubbornness mirrored each other, almost like reflections locked in a painful stalemate neither wanted but both seemed destined to fight. To outsiders, the story began looking less like family drama and more like a generational curse playing out in public. Ty had built his career escaping the streets, warning against the very life King seemed drawn toward. And now, the pattern was threatening to repeat. But instead of guiding his son through it, Ty allegedly decided to stop the cycle at the root by taking custody of his grandson. Fans began writing threads comparing this to Greek tragedy, where fathers and sons clash not out of hatred but out of fate, each convinced they're doing what's right, yet both tearing the family apart. The arrest video of King resurfaced again, replayed endlessly as if it were the opening argument in an unofficial trial by public opinion. Every detail was scrutinized, the calmness in King's voice, The way he stood as officers cuffed him, even the regret flickering across his face. Supporters argued it showed a young man in shock, finally realizing the consequences of his actions. Critics argued it was proof he was too reckless to raise a child. If he can't keep himself safe, how can he keep a baby safe? One viral comment asked, echoing Ty's alleged reasoning almost word for word. Then came the twist nobody expected. Rumors of King seeking his own legal team to fight back. Blog sites ran headlines suggesting he was preparing to challenge his father in court, determined to prove he was capable of raising Junior. If true, it meant the custody battle wasn't just a one-sided push from Ty. It was gearing up to be a courtroom showdown, father versus son, each with their lawyers, each presenting their case. The internet latched onto this possibility, already imagining the spectacle of 2 generations of Harris men facing off under the cold lights of a courtroom. Friends of the family began weighing in quietly too. Unnamed insiders claimed some of T's closest associates were urging him to reconsider, warning that suing his son might burn a bridge that could never be rebuilt. Others reportedly encouraged him, saying it was the only way to protect Junior before it was too late. Even within his circle, the division mirrored the chaos of the fan base, half calling it heroic, half calling it cruel. The internet debates grew more intense with every passing day. Podcasts dedicated entire episodes to breaking down the drama, Twitter threads stretched into thousands of replies, and YouTube commentaries racked up millions of views. Memes popped up, some mocking King as privileged but reckless, others mocking T as controlling and out of touch. Yet beneath the humor, there was a shared sense of tragedy, that this was a family war being consumed as entertainment. Even as real lives were unraveling, as all this noise played out publicly, rumors swirled that behind the scenes, Ty was already gathering evidence. Reports claimed he was documenting incidents, compiling footage, and reaching out to people who had witnessed King's outbursts firsthand. If true, it suggested he wasn't just making emotional claims, but was building a case strong enough to sway a judge. And that revelation only deepened the split among fans. If he's gathering evidence, this is serious, one person tweeted. He's not playing games anymore. Others countered, you don't need evidence to love your family. You need compassion, not lawyers. What no one could deny was that the Harris name, once synonymous with hip-hop royalty, was now entangled in one of the most dramatic family sagas the industry had seen in years. Every twist, every leaked detail, every cryptic post felt like a new chapter, and the story showed no signs of slowing down. If anything, the tension was mounting, and everyone watching knew that the next move could either break the family entirely or force them into a resolution nobody saw coming. As the alleged custody battle dragged on, the Harris family drama began to take on a life of its own, transforming from whispers and gossip blogs into the biggest trending topic across social media. The hashtags #ChotYourTeamTI and #ChotYourTeamKing started circulating, with fans publicly choosing sides as if it were a reality show. Debates raged under every post, spilling from Twitter to Instagram to YouTube comments, with strangers dissecting private family matters like seasoned analysts. It wasn't just about custody anymore. It had become a national conversation about parenting, privilege, and the pressures of fame. According to insiders, tensions inside the house reached an unbearable boiling point. One dramatic scene reportedly unfolded when King showed up unannounced at Ty's studio. Eyewitnesses claimed the room went dead silent when he walked in, holding Junior in his arms. King allegedly confronted his father in front of everyone there, saying, "You built an empire on being a father, and now you gonna tear mine down?" Ty, taken aback but unwilling to fold, allegedly shot back, "I built an empire by surviving, and I won't watch you destroy yourself or that boy." Those words, if true, landed like daggers, splitting the room between those who nodded in agreement and those who shifted uncomfortably at the rawness of the exchange. The internet, hungry for more, dug up old clips and interviews, stitching them together into proof of what they thought was really going on. Compilations circulated showing Ty warning King over the years, telling him that reckless behavior only leads to jail or worse. Paired alongside King's viral meltdowns, the edits painted a picture of prophecy fulfilled, a father's warnings coming true before everyone's eyes. Fans called it the slow-motion train wreck we couldn't stop watching. Some expressed sympathy for King, saying he never had a chance to grow in private. Others blamed Ty for parenting with lectures and public shaming instead of compassion and guidance. Then came another alleged twist: courtroom documents suggesting mediation had already begun. Reports claimed both sides were urged to find common ground before heading into a full trial. But according to those close to the family, the mediation didn't go well. Insiders whispered that King stormed out after just 15 minutes, slamming the door and declaring, "You ain't taking my son, not now, not ever." If true, that moment confirmed that the custody fight was far from over. It was only escalating. Meanwhile, fans began noticing King's absence from social media. Usually quick to go live or post clips, his silence was deafening. Instead, vague messages appeared. Photos of him holding Junior, captions like, "All I got," or "They won't take this from me." Every cryptic post sent fans spiraling into speculation. Was he preparing to fight legally? Was he spiraling into isolation? Or was this the calm before another storm? No one knew for sure, but the silence spoke louder than any rant ever had. Ty, on the other hand, seemed to double down on his public image as a protective grandfather. Every clip of him with Junior, smiling, holding him close, talking about his future, went viral instantly. Fans flooded comments with lines like, "Ty looks more like the father than King does," and "That baby lights him up." These comparisons only deepened the divide, making King look careless in contrast, even if that wasn't the full truth. To many watching, it wasn't just a custody fight anymore. It was a battle for narrative, a war over who the public would believe was the real protector of little King Jr. Then, almost out of nowhere, rumors of betrayal began to circulate. Whispers claimed that some of King's closest friends had quietly turned on him, allegedly providing Ty's team with stories of his late-night parties, reckless driving, and outbursts. Whether those stories were true or exaggerated, they added fuel to Ty's alleged case, painting a picture of instability that matched his warnings. Fans debated endlessly. Were these friends just chasing clout, or were they genuinely worried about the baby's safety? The drama escalated further when a supposed video leak surfaced online, allegedly showing King in a heated argument while holding his son. The clip was blurry, the audio distorted, but viewers swore they heard him yelling profanities while Junior cried in the background. Some argued the clip was fake or heavily edited, but by then the damage was done. Within hours, it had millions of views, with comment sections filled with judgment, pity, and outrage. One fan wrote, "This is exactly what Ty was talking about," while another countered, "Every parent has bad moments. This doesn't prove he's unfit." Through all of this, Tiny remained the quiet anchor in the storm. Insiders claimed she spent sleepless nights trying to shield Junior from the chaos, shuffling him between homes and trying to maintain some sense of normalcy. She allegedly begged both Ty and King to stop letting the internet dictate their narrative, but her pleas seemed drowned out by the roar of public attention. Fans sympathized with her, noting that she appeared caught in the middle, forced to choose between husband and son while protecting her grandson's innocence. As days turned into weeks, the drama didn't fade. It escalated. Podcasts released exclusive interviews with unnamed insiders, blogs speculated on the potential outcome of the custody battle, and fans began betting on whether T.I. or King would prevail. It no longer felt like private family business. It felt like a public trial, one with millions of spectators, each ready to crown their own victor. And yet, despite the noise, one truth kept resurfacing. This wasn't just about custody papers or public perception. It was about legacy, survival, and a family trying and failing to bridge the generational gap between a father who escaped chaos and a son determined to prove he could survive it. Whether through reconciliation or destruction, everyone watching knew the climax was coming, and whatever happened next would change the Harris family forever. The alleged custody battle between T.I. and King. Harris reached a fever pitch when blogs began reporting that official hearings could be on the horizon. Though no court date was ever confirmed, the rumor alone was enough to send fans into a frenzy. The idea of Ty and King walking into a courtroom as adversaries, father versus son, was almost too surreal to imagine, yet the internet treated it like the inevitable season finale of an ongoing reality show. Hashtags like Chuck Harris Family Trial and Justice for Junior started trending, with thousands of people choosing sides and creating fan theories about how the story might end. Behind the scenes, whispers suggested King was more determined than ever to hold on to his son. Insiders claimed he had finally connected with a legal team of his own, reportedly telling friends, "I'm not backing down. I'll fight for mine." For someone who had often been dismissed as reckless or immature, this sudden resolve painted a different picture. Was this the wake-up call he needed? Or just another act of defiance against his father's shadow? Fans debated endlessly, with some insisting this showed growth and others calling it nothing more than stubborn pride. Meanwhile, reports claimed Ty was preparing his own arsenal of evidence, witnesses ready to testify, incidents documented, and even therapists allegedly lined up to speak on the baby's well-being. One source described him as calm but firm, saying, "This isn't about proving a point. This is about saving that boy from chaos." Whether that was genuine concern or a carefully crafted narrative, it gave fuel to supporters who saw Ty as a man doing what had to be done, no matter how painful. Family friends allegedly tried to mediate one last time, organizing a private sit-down away from cameras and lawyers. But according to leaks, the meeting quickly turned hostile. King reportedly accused his father of destroying his reputation, shouting, "You'd rather believe strangers than your own son." Ty, unable to hold back, allegedly replied, "Reputation don't raise a child. Responsibility does." Witnesses described the room as thick with emotion, Tiny crying quietly in the corner, while relatives exchanged nervous glances. Any hope of reconciliation seemed to vanish in that moment, replaced with an icy certainty that both men were digging in for a long fight. The public, meanwhile, continued to dissect every move. When King was spotted at a gas station with Junior in tow, fans rushed to record shaky videos and post them online with captions like, "He looks stressed but determined." When T.I. was filmed at an event, speaking proudly about his grandson, the clips went viral with comments such as, "That baby already has a better father figure in his grandfather." Each moment became another piece of evidence in the unofficial trial being conducted in the court of public opinion. Then came the twist that turned everything upside down. Rumors that Child Protective Services had been contacted. No official records were released, but just the suggestion sent shockwaves across social media. Was the state about to step in? Were T.I.'s alleged concerns being taken seriously at the highest levels? Some fans panicked, fearing Junior could be removed from both father and grandfather. Others called it a scare tactic, another piece of gossip designed to escalate the drama. Either way, it raised the stakes, making the story less about family pride and more about the very real possibility of government intervention. The tension bled into King's music, too. Snippets of unreleased songs allegedly featured lyrics about betrayal, about fighting for his son, about standing alone against everyone, even his own blood. Fans who heard the leak said it sounded raw, pained, almost desperate, as if King was pouring his entire heart into the only outlet he could control. But critics dismissed it as clout chasing, accusing him of turning personal pain into publicity. Once again, fans were left divided, unsure if they were witnessing authentic emotion or another stunt in a family saga that never seemed to end. Amid all this, Junior's presence became almost symbolic. Photos of him smiling, holding toys, or being carried by either parent or grandparent spread across social feeds like wildfire. People who had never met him wrote paragraphs about protecting him, about giving him a safe and loving future. The baby, completely unaware of the storm around him, had become the heart of a debate that stretched far beyond the Harris family, about privilege, parenting, and the burden of legacy. As rumors of an actual custody hearing grew stronger, so did speculation about what it would mean for the future. If Ty succeeded, some fans argued, it might finally break the cycle of recklessness and chaos. If King managed to hold on, others countered, it could be his chance to prove the world wrong and step into manhood once and for all. Either way, the family dynamic was forever altered. The most haunting part of it all was the silence between the loud moments. Reports of sleepless nights, of King pacing the floor with Junior in his arms, of Ty staring at old photos of his son as a boy. All painted a picture of a family torn apart not by hatred, but by fear. Fear of losing control, fear of repeating mistakes, fear of watching someone you love self-destruct while being powerless to stop it. And that's where the story stands, teetering on the edge of a resolution nobody can predict. Will a courtroom decide the future of little King Jr.? Will father and son ever reconcile? Or has the damage gone too deep? Fans are left hanging, waiting for the next headline, the next leak, the next confrontation, in a saga that feels less like celebrity gossip and more like a generational battle playing out on the world's stage. The alleged custody battle had now become more than just a headline. It was an unfolding saga that blurred the lines between family, tragedy, and public spectacle. Every gossip outlet, every podcast, every Instagram blog had a new angle to push, and fans devoured each twist like it was the latest episode of a reality TV show. What started as whispers about leaked papers had exploded into a multi-layered feud where pride, legacy, and love were all colliding. According to those close to the family, things reached their darkest point when King reportedly went completely silent for several days. No posts, no live streams, no sightings. Fans began to speculate wildly. Had he gone into hiding? Was he preparing for a major legal move? Or had the weight of betrayal finally crushed him into silence? The hashtag #TapiWerisking began trending, with supporters flooding timelines with prayers and messages of encouragement. The mystery only fueled the story further, and when he finally reappeared, carrying Junior in his arms outside a studio, the image went instantly viral. He looked tired, disheveled, but his grip on his son was firm, almost defiant, as if to say, "I'm not letting go." The internet treated it as a statement. Supporters rallied around him, arguing that his determination to hold on to his son showed he was capable of being a father. Critics, however, insisted the appearance only highlighted how unstable he looked, reinforcing Ty's alleged claims. Once again, public opinion was split down the middle, with both sides more convinced than ever of their version of the truth. Inside the mansion, insiders whispered about explosive confrontations between Ty and Tiny. Tiny was reportedly torn apart, trying to mediate while struggling with her own heartbreak. One source described her breaking down, saying, "How do I choose between my husband and my son? How do I protect my grandson without destroying my family?" That internal conflict became another layer of the story, with fans sympathizing with her position. In many ways, Tiny had become the silent victim, forced to watch her family unravel piece by piece. The drama took another shocking twist when rumors surfaced of a secret recording, allegedly a heated phone call between T.I. and King. Though the clip was never officially verified, it spread like wildfire online. In it, voices that sounded like father and son could be heard arguing, Ty demanding, "You think love means chaos? You think being a daddy means showing off for the internet?" While the other voice shot back, "You don't know me, you just know who you want me to be." The clip was grainy, distorted, but powerful enough to reignite the firestorm. Some fans saw it as proof that the feud was raw and deeply personal. Others dismissed it as a fake created to stir up more drama. Meanwhile, fans and fellow celebrities kept weighing in. Some supported Ty's alleged stance, sharing their own experiences as parents trying to break cycles of recklessness. Others defended King, arguing that every young father deserves the chance to grow and learn without being crushed by legal battles. The sheer volume of opinions made the feud impossible to ignore. It had become the #1 topic in hip-hop news, overshadowing even music releases and beefs. But perhaps the most heartbreaking reports were about Junior himself. Insiders described moments where the baby seemed unsettled, caught in the tension, shuttled between homes, with both sides clinging to him like a lifeline. "That little boy is the rope in a tug of war," one source said. "He don't even know what's happening, but he feels it. Kids always feel it." Those words hit fans hard, reminding everyone that beyond the spectacle and drama, an innocent child was at the center of the storm. Adding to the intensity, some outlets reported that Ty was considering calling for supervised visits, ensuring King could only see his son under watchful eyes until he proved himself. If true, it would be the harshest move yet, one that could shatter their relationship permanently. For supporters of T.I., it was a necessary step to protect the baby. For supporters of King, it was an unforgivable betrayal, a father punishing his own blood in the harshest way possible. And just when fans thought the story couldn't get more chaotic, another rumor surfaced that T.I. was writing a public statement, not just for the courts but for the world, laying out his reasoning in his own words. Whether it was a press release, a podcast, or an interview wasn't clear, but the possibility had fans on edge. Would he double down and risk alienating his son forever? Or would he use the opportunity to extend an olive branch, hoping for reconciliation before it was too late? The story had reached the point where every action, every silence, every rumor felt like a clue in an unfolding mystery. Fans weren't just watching anymore. They were invested, analyzing every detail, predicting outcomes, and taking sides as if their opinions could sway the outcome. It had become bigger than hip-hop, bigger than gossip. It was a modern-day cautionary tale about fame, fatherhood, and the fragile bonds that hold families together. And as the days stretched on, one haunting truth kept echoing across social media. No matter who wins, the Harris family will never be the same again. The custody battle, real or alleged, had already left scars. The question now was whether those scars would eventually heal, or whether this saga was only the beginning of a deeper, darker war for the future of the Harris legacy. With the alleged custody case now dominating headlines, it felt like every corner of the internet had become a courtroom. Podcasts were hosting hour-long debates, bloggers were dissecting every leaked detail, and even late-night talk shows couldn't resist cracking jokes about the Harris family feud. But for those following closely, the story was no laughing matter. It had turned into a cultural moment, a discussion not just about T and King, but about the broader struggle between generations, parents who sacrificed everything to escape chaos, and children who still felt trapped in the shadows of their legacies. Reports claimed the atmosphere in Atlanta was electric. Fans spotted King at a local restaurant, Junior tucked close to his chest, and described him as looking paranoid but proud. He was allegedly surrounded by a few friends, constantly checking his phone, eyes darting around as if expecting someone to swoop in and snatch his child. To some, it was the picture of a young father fighting to protect what mattered most. To others, it was the image of a man unraveling under the weight of pressure he wasn't ready for. Ty, on the other hand, allegedly kept moving as though nothing was out of order. He appeared at events, spoke in interviews, and carried himself with the calmness of someone who believed his actions were justified. "I've been here before," he reportedly told one confidant. "I know what happens if you let chaos run unchecked. This time, I'm not letting it take another generation." Those words, once they leaked, only widened the divide between fans. Half applauded his foresight and determination, while half accused him of playing dictator with his own family. Tiny's role became even more heartbreaking. Insiders painted a picture of her trapped in an impossible position, trying to keep peace between a stubborn husband and a wounded son. One story described her sneaking Junior into her own room late at night, rocking him to sleep while whispering prayers for her family to heal. "She's the glue," one friend allegedly said. But even glue cracks under this kind of pressure. The alleged court filings grew darker too. Rumors swirled that Ty's team was prepared to use King's viral outbursts, arrest footage, and even social media clips as evidence to prove instability. Fans argued that using a young man's worst moments against him was cruel, while others said it was necessary in a fight for custody. "If he's putting it online, then it's fair game," one commenter wrote. Another shot back. "That's not parenting, that's prosecution." King's response, though less public, was said to be explosive behind closed doors. Insiders claimed he had shouted during a heated call with his mother, "They're trying to erase me, Mom. They want to make me look like I don't exist." Whether that was dramatic exaggeration or raw truth, it revealed the depth of his paranoia and pain. He allegedly told friends he was done playing Mr. Nice Guy and that he was ready to take the fight straight to court. The drama spilled over into the music industry as well. Some producers reportedly cut ties with King, fearing the drama was too toxic to be associated with. Others leaned in, suggesting he channel the chaos into his art to release a project that would tell his side of the story. Whispers of a diss track aimed at Ty began circulating, though nothing official dropped. Still, fans imagined what it would sound like. A son calling out his father in the rawest way possible, putting their feud into rhythm and rhyme. Throughout all of this, Junior remained the haunting centerpiece. Photos of him giggling in his stroller or playing with toys went viral each time they surfaced, often paired with captions like, "This baby deserves better," or "Protect Junior at all costs." His innocence highlighted the tragedy of it all. No matter who won the battle, he was the one caught in the middle, growing up surrounded by chaos he couldn't understand. As the alleged court date loomed closer, speculation about outcomes filled every feed. Some predicted Ty would win, pointing to his stability, resources, and reputation. Others argued King might surprise everyone, showing maturity and fighting tooth and nail to prove he could be the father Junior needed. Then there were the darker predictions, voices saying CPs might intervene, removing the baby from both households until the dust settled. The very thought of that possibility sent chills down the spine of fans who had grown attached to the child through photos and stories. The family itself seemed beyond repair. Reports claimed King had stopped visiting the mansion entirely, choosing to stay with friends or hole up in hotels. Ty allegedly instructed his security to monitor who came near Junior when he was in his care. Tiny, heartbroken, continued shuttling between the two men, begging them to think about the bigger picture. Friends described her as exhausted, her face lined with stress, her voice breaking each time she tried to mediate another shouting match. And just when fans thought the story couldn't twist any further, new rumors surfaced. T.I. was allegedly considering speaking out in a documentary-style interview, laying everything bare. The idea sent social media into a frenzy. Would he expose King completely? Would he share details no one had ever heard before? Or would he try to present himself as the hero in a story that had already left him looking divided in the eyes of the public? No one knew for sure, but the anticipation alone was enough to make fans sit on the edge of their seats. The Harris saga was no longer just about one family. It had become a cultural mirror, reflecting the struggles between old-school lessons and new-school rebellion, between privilege and authenticity, between love and control. And as the alleged custody showdown drew closer, the only thing clear was that the world would be watching, waiting for the next headline, the next leaked clip, the next crack in a family that once seemed unbreakable. As the dust settled on weeks of whispers, leaks, and explosive claims, one truth became clear: the Harris family may never return to what it once was. What started as rumors of Ty allegedly filing for custody had snowballed into one of the most dramatic sagas hip-hop culture had ever seen, dragging private battles into the public spotlight. Fans who once saw the family as untouchable royalty were now forced to confront a harsher reality. Behind the mansions, the music, and the fame, the Harris household was a storm of betrayal, fear, and clashing pride. King's silence in the final stretch spoke louder than any rant. Gone were the fiery live streams, the viral outbursts, the bravado. In their place was a young man who seemed broken, uncertain whether to fight back harder or step aside in shame. For supporters, it was a tragic sight. The image of a son who loved his child but couldn't escape the weight of his father's shadow. For critics, it was the proof they had been waiting for, the sign that Ty was right all along in calling him unfit. Ty, meanwhile, stood as both protector and villain, depending on who you asked. To some, he was the grandfather willing to sacrifice his own relationship with his son to safeguard his grandson's future. To others, he was a man blinded by pride, too willing to drag his own blood through legal hell in the name of control. Whichever version you believe, The impact is undeniable. His move, whether alleged or real, changed the trajectory of his family forever. Tiny remained the most heartbreaking figure, left in the middle of a war she never asked for. Fans empathized with her exhaustion, her tears, her desperate attempts to keep a family from tearing itself apart. But even she couldn't stop the tidal wave. And then, there was Junior, the innocent soul at the center of it all. His giggles, his smiles, his small hands gripping whoever held him became a symbol of what was truly at stake. The internet's obsession wasn't just with scandal anymore, but with the hope that this child might grow up in peace, away from the chaos that consumed his family's name. So, where does this story end? For now, it doesn't. The Harris family saga remains open-ended, a cliffhanger with no clear resolution. Will Ty and King ever reconcile? Will Junior grow up with stability? Or will he inherit the very storm his father and grandfather battled over? The answers are still unknown. But one thing is certain. This saga has reminded the world that fame doesn't shield you from pain, and legacy doesn't guarantee harmony. And that's where we leave it tonight. A family divided, a baby's future hanging in the balance, and millions of fans watching every move. What's your take? Is this tough love or has it gone too far? Should King be given the chance to prove himself? Or is Junior safer in his grandfather's care? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear what you think. And if you want to stay locked in as this story continues to unfold, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. Trust me, with the way things are going, the next chapter in the Harris family drama could break at any moment. And you won't want to miss it.